Hello, and welcome to week 63, book 63. And for those of you who may actually be keeping track, yes, this is uh, late. This should have been done the week of January 19th, so I'm about a month late. Um, but I have been keeping up with the reading. I just haven't had the time and the energy to do the recording. So, let's go ahead and get going. This is my second Shakespeare play in this series, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And, well, for those of you who have not read this, this is a fun, romantic romp, basically. There are these pair of uh, well, it's three different stories at once. It's the stories of the King of the Fairies and the Queen of the Fairies, Oberon and Titania, the King and Queen of the Fairies, and he wants to get um, a young boy that she has stolen from him back, and so he devises a scheme to do that. Um, the second level is Theseus and Hippolyte. I think Hippolyte, Hypatia, Hippolyte, um, who are the the king and queen of the local place, and then there are the four lovers who are in the woods. And what's actually going on there is uh, uh, both of the guys want the same girl. One of them used to want the other girl and has changed his mind, and now they both want the same girl. And so what enters in here is uh, wedding festivities. So the Mechanicals, led by Bottom and others, is going to put on a play within the play to celebrate the nuptials. And that leads to the hilarity because Oberon decides to use his servant, very servant, Puck, who is a mischievous character, mischievous character that Shakespeare actually borrowed from the Middle Ages. And Puck goes around and puts a draught in everybody, in Titania's eyes and in the lover's eyes, so that they fall in love with the first thing they see. And of course, the first thing Titania sees is Bottom, and then hilarity uh, ensues. A lot of very nice romantic language, a lot of very nice insulting language, an absolute perfect parody of a Elizabethan era play by amateur actors in the way that Bottom and the Mechanicals put together their Pyramus and Thisbe tragedy comedy. Um, Great stuff. Great stuff. The Helena, Hermia, Lysander, and Demeter. Those are the characters. I can't keep straight who's in love with who, but those are the four characters. And just great stuff. They go around the woods, both in love with one girl at first, and then both in love with the other girl through the drought, and then everything gets sorted out, and everybody gets nice and married, and Puck casts a spell on Bottom and changes his head to the head of an ass, and so Titania is literally in love with an ass, and they make a lot of jokes about that, and the name of the character is Bottom, and ass also refers, of course, so Shakespeare has some fun with that language. Okay, so what does all of this mean? Well, I don't know that there's necessarily a whole lot of meaning here, so much as that a play is a flight of fantasy. There, he is taking you away into a world of entertainment and fun, and that's basically the idea here, and a lot of mockery of people who take plays too seriously. That's why it's called A Midsummer Night's Dream, because at the end it says, if Puck has a speech at the end where he says, "And if you're offended, just consider all this to have been a dream." And so that's the thing. You know, this does not intend to represent reality. It intends to represent a fantasy. And so this is kind of a commentary on art, if you will, and fantasy at the time. Um, and like a lot of Shakespeare plays, he plays fast and loose with the unities. The vast majority of the action takes place in one place and in one day, but there is a very short bit that takes place earlier, and it does involve three different levels of a plot, not just one. And the three different levels of the plot need to all be together for it to work. So it's a fun little play. I recommend it. If you haven't read it, it's a short read, it's a fun read, and I once saw it in, I've seen it on the stage, I think twice. And one time it was in the round, and it was Theseus and, oh no, Oberon and Titania were a leather clad sadomasochistic couple, and that was a hilarious version. But it's been staged many times in many different ways, and it's just a perennial favorite. Very good play. All right, that's it for today.